I think you always want to save what you can save, but I guess if you were ever going to take a little index, right now is the time. At points and a half and $250,000 on the line, now would be the time to take it for sure.
All right, guys, we're here at Texas Motorplex for the AAA at Texas NHRA Fall Nationals, and coming out of the rescheduled Pine Valley Divisional, Don Thomas with a pretty hefty points lead over the rest of the field, but it's points and a half here this weekend, so a lot of ground can be made up by the rest of the field. Some of the toughest Comp Eliminator competitors in the country are on the property this weekend, so it's going to be some great racing action on track.
Chemiskey finally in a ride of his own for Lone Star Gasman. And you hear it hit the tire hard out there. Taylor trucking on through that 8:14 lap at 164. The little Cobalt goes to number 1.
And just having a car that's consistent and works helps the driver go up there, knowing what I've got to do, just do it.
The Rockingham Divisional last year, the Autotech.
So it's just a matter of trust your car, trust your numbers, and make the decision. And the hard part, getting chased, I know a lot of guys know this, getting chased, you can't make that decision without seeing the guy. And you can't see the guy until it's too late. And a lot of them, when they get 200-mile-an-hour dragsters coming at you, they'll make their decision at 1,000 foot and make you look real stupid because you haven't even seen them yet, you know. So you've almost got to pick your spot and just hope. And I hate doing that because that's not racing, but at the same time, if you're going to survive, that's almost what you got to do.
Ashton carrying the front end out there on the Escort. There's right down the right side, 7.608 at 177, 68 under with a 1. Matt Harris just jumped to the top of the pack. Taylor hiking the front end up on the left side. Adam Hickey, 978 to 64, 675, 201. Jeff Taylor, 64 under with a 2, puts him in the number 7 spot.
You know, we make a couple of good runs here on Monday, and we're pretty excited. And then Tuesday, it just kind of fell off, and we've been chasing problems. And then yesterday, it finally got to the point where it wouldn't even go down the track. David's been working his butt off on these engines and stuff, and got a new engine in it this week. Seemed really well, and obviously this morning it proved that. So we come in here last night and we changed everything on it, rewired the car, new fuel system, all new ignition, new battery, changed everything in it except the engine. We changed transmission, converter, and then obviously it went out there and made a pretty good run. We still got a few little gremlins, it looks like, that we're chasing, but you know, it's respectable enough. If it'll do that, at least we got a chance of something to win with.
Last year, the Pep Boys National. missed it. CIP 1, flying for all those columns. I think that new set of headers on this machine working out pretty well. Zupka with a good run down the left side, 689.5, 67 under with a 4 for Steve. That's going to put him in the number 4 spot. Little wiggle down low for Roger Clintz on a much better run than yesterday. 650 with a 3, only 193 miles an hour. I don't think Clint drove it to the stripe. Still goes 71 under the index.
Well, we've been fighting some tire shake issues, and I hope we figured it out. So we'll see. I was hoping to go like a mid-50 shutting off. I didn't expect it to go 50. All the incremental numbers were personal bests. I mean, 984, 60, that's awesome. The new motor that Don put together is definitely making some good power for sure. So just happy to make it down the track. Now let's see if we can duplicate it and back-to-back it and see if it does the same thing as it did earlier. So I don't think it's going to be as fast. The air looks like it's a couple hundred slower at least right now. So we'll see.
Up until Tulsa just a couple of weeks ago, really struggling, but a tire change, gear ratio change, pretty significant change of direction with our clutch, and some better air, all kind of worked together. And I mean, that was not as fast as we could run, but that was a good run. I'm very happy with that. It's going to be fast, but I guess at least it's a mine shaft. We don't have to worry about permanent until we get to 65, and that might be a darn near perfect run for me. So I guess technically we're where we want to be, but I still feel the pressure, and I still feel like it's going to be fast and you don't know what to expect.
Comp Eliminator, first round, rolling in. National points on the line, as well as the Rooftec Comp Eliminator bonus fund, where $750,000 is up for grabs. And your first pair illustrates the beauty of Comp Eliminator perfectly. The rule of thumb in Comp Eliminator is if you can think up in a driveline combination, chassis combination, whatever, there's a place for it in Comp Eliminator. So you got Ashton Hudson on the left side. That is an H-altered automatic. He's got an index of 918. Nick Janik over on the right side, that is a AA Pro model. His index is 663. But the first car to cross the finish line is going to win here. Ashton turns it red by 13, and Nick Janik in the AA Pro mod is going to move on. Callie Neff, the J-Dragster automatic, that is an inline 6-cylinder Chevrolet power plant, akin to what you would find in a Chevy Trailblazer. These two are really good friends, so I'm sure they were not too pleased to have to line up side by side in the first round. Kayla over on the left side, that is a K-altered automatic, a 251 cubic inch inline 4-cylinder Ford power plant. She was your U.S. Nationals winner this year. So Callie going to get about 0.2 of a second head start in the dragster, and then Kayla going to have to track her down. And away they go. And Callie is off the throttle. Kayla is coasting 795, 123 miles an hour. So as going to bring up Brooke Heckel and Jason Ochoa. Jason over in the left lane. That is a D super modified 1972 Chevy Vega. It's got a 297 cubic inch Chevrolet small block underneath the hood. His index is 904, so he's going to get almost a full second and a half, a full Christmas tree head start. And then Brooke Heckel, the C Dragster automatic over on the right side. 337 cubic inch small block Chevy, automatic transmission. She's working on her medical doctorate right now at the best school in the country, Texas A&M University. As is Brooke. Brooke is closing in. She's got a little ground to make up. And at the finish line, it's going to be Brooke Heckel, 55 under the index with a 9704. 171 miles an hour. So I explained a little bit about the competition index control earlier. Chris Dodd, left side. That is a C Econo dragster. Wedge-headed, 315 cubic inch small block with a single 4-barrel sitting on top of it. An automatic transmission. The Econo designation does not mean economical. It's not cheap or fuel efficient to run any of these race cars. Keith Hall, the E Supermod, 2005 Cavalier on the right side. Small block Chevy and a clutch pedal in it. He's going to get 1.2 seconds roughly head start. Green light Keith. Green light Chris. Chris is closing in. 1,000 foot. Keith is still out front. At the finish line, Keith still out front. 59 under goes 848 at 159 miles an hour, 740. Roger Brogdon, the man behind Rooftec, primary sponsor of the Rooftec Comp Eliminator Bonus Fund, the roofing contractor out of Houston. The flying shingle pallet over on the right-hand side, 775 the index. He's going to get 0.2 seconds head start. And Royce Freeman over in the left lane, the B-altered automatic, a 500 cubic inch Pro Stock power plant. A bunch of extra weight added onto that 2016 Camaro. He was number 27 at the end of qualifying. Roger occupied the number 11 spot. He's racing points and a half for the Rooftec Comp Eliminator Bonus Fund. So those competitors definitely looking to go some rounds here. I'll be willing to bet we're going to see some of them take some personal index before this weekend is over. It's going to be Royce Freeman goes 694 at 198. Roger goes 719 at 173. He did not have it to the floor through the finish line. Royce goes 60 under the index. So he's going to take a hit of 10 going into the next round. Rick Brown, the E-Truck automatic for John Stock and Don Reddick, came into the divisional on Monday and Tuesday as the points leader in the Rooftec Bonus Fund. Has since been knocked back a spot or two. Don Thomas sitting atop the field right now. He's going to move first. Rick is by about 1.36 seconds. Doing this for 56 years. He's your Jegs All-Stars rep for Division 4. That truck is right. It's going to hike the front end in the air right off the starting line. Green lights on both sides. Mazeris closing very quickly. Does he have enough racetrack? Yes, he does. Joe Mazeris goes 687, 192 for the win. He grabbed himself about 4 on this end of the racetrack. Rick goes 823, 163. Don Thomas, as mentioned a second ago, your current points leader in the Rooftec Bonus Fund. He's got an index of 739. That's the B Econo dragster for Panhandle Performance Engines over in the left lane. Steve Zupka, the C Dragster automatic out of the state of Pennsylvania on the right-hand side. Competition Engine Services and Slotco Racing Heads. Number 6 in Division 1 Comp Eliminator standings last year. Almost 0.2 seconds head start going to Steve. Steve turns it red by 2 tiny little thousandths of a second. Don's off the throttle and coasting to a 730, 139 miles an hour. And the next pair is going to be a couple of A-alters. Mason McGahey. Same Mason McGahey that we're going to see in the Mission Food Series when Pro Stock comes up a little bit later on. Mason's car over in the left lane. All intents and purposes, a legal NHRA Pro Stock car. So Mason's car, 500 cubic inches. Scott Linder goes a 698 cubic inch rare Morrison big block. But when you got 2 cars in the same class, when they come up next to each other, just as in stock and super stock, it is a heads up first to the finish line duel. So Mason rolls in. Scott going to follow suit. Linder was 60, and Scott's going to get it done. 6:54, 2:08, 61 under the index. So Linder's taking a hit of 11 to his index coming up in the next round. Brings up Glenn Treadwell and Taylor Chemiskey. Taylor in the hunt for the Rooftec Bonus Fund Championship. He's in the C Super Modified 2008 Cobalt from Blind Frog Ranch, CIP1, Chemiskey Performance, NC Machine, and Scott Seed Company. Glenn Treadwell, the M-altered automatic, over 300 cubic inches of inline 6-cylinder Ford power. The owner of Treadwell Farms out of Eustis, Florida, CBD supplier, also one of the sponsors of the Bonus Fund, as is Chemiskey Performance. Taylor's going to get a little more than 0.4 of a second head start. And Taylor is red by 3.5 on. Glenn Treadwell will move on. And they both shut it off and coast through the top end. As Ryan Warder and Jason Grima take to the racetrack. Ryan, the D Super Modified, based out of Milton, Washington, comes into this race number 2 in the national point standings. I was talking to him last night at the All-Stars Happy Hour, and not mistaken, if he wins this round, he will be the points leader in the national standings. 300 cubic inch small block Chevy and a clutch pedal for Ryan. Jason Grima, the B-altered 414 cubic inch small block Ford and a 5-speed Liberty. Basically the same trim as you're going to find in the Pro Stock cars in the land down under. Okay, Ryan's green, car drives right. Jason Grima turns it red. Ryan Warder's going to be your points leader. He shoves in the clutch just about 1,000 foot, goes to an 897. Jason was 40 on the wrong side of the tree. So Matt Harris, the chassis builder, Bellevue, Nebraska, E-altered, 316 cubic inches worth of small block Chevy. Ryan Pretty doubles him up, 730 cubic inches of monstrous big block Chevy underneath the hood scoop of the Matthew Performance machine, owned by Nick Mitzos. This car's been 650 here this weekend. Number 7 in the world last year, I believe. Came into this event number 6 in the point standing. So basically 1.2 seconds of head start. Going to go to the Grand Am. And Ryan Pretty is 25 red. Matt Harris can cruise into round number 2. Your 2022 Comp Eliminator Bonus Fund winner. That's Adam over on the right side. A&H Automotive out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana, and Chase Williams, the 2023 Bonus Fund winner. Out of Carthage, Texas, over in the left lane, that is a B Econo dragster. Second generation racer. His dad, Greg, also campaigned across the country in Comp Eliminator. Chase going to get a little bit more than 1/10 of a second head start. His index of 747. Adam Hickey at 736. The B dragster automatic. Grabs a win light, 676, 188. Chase goes 686 at 179. Dave Triplett and Brian Wegner, your next pair.
Man, I'm happy with it. I mean, the car's running good. Just got to get a good driver in the seat. So we're just working on the starting line and trying to get transmission and button combinations worked out. And Clint won't give me any glory, man. He's always going to come around me there at the last little bit. So anyway, Clint's got a fast car. We're lucky to be where we're at. So we're just doing the best we can, and thankful my brother's here to help me. And we're just going to try to go rounds today and get in the top 16.
Between them at the tree. Win light going to go to Triplett. Oh, wow. Dave Triplett goes 66 under the index with a 3. A couple of guys been at the Lucas Oil Series game a long time. Had a lot of success at it. Volpe over on the right side. The A Econo altered out of the state of Florida. Former U.S. Nationals winner. Former divisional champ. And a 4-time top 10 finisher. Jeff Taylor over 100 volleys to his credit between the National Divisional Circuit and 4 World Championships. He's in the B Dragster Automatic for the Nickens brothers and J&A Services, Jim and Andy Whiteley. Spotting about a full yellow bulb with a little altered. Green lights both sides of the racetrack. Taylor closing in. And Taylor's already out front. He goes 703, 177 miles an hour. Volpe was 104 to the 60 foot. May have lost a little bit down low, and it cost him. Mahi, the 299 cubic inch small block Chevrolet powered F altered. Great to see the Mahis back out. They had a severe incident in the final division of Houston Raceway Park last year where the car got sideways and the lights made contact with the retaining wall, trying to kind of get their bearings back. Leading up to this race, ended up in the number 8 spot in the field of 33 and got that car figured out again. He's going to run it down about 800 feet and shove the clutch in. Goes to an 862, 113 miles an hour. Clinton F. was supposed to be alongside of Jared Grenier. Jared not able to make the call. Lupe Tortilla machine, so Clinton F. going to solo his way into round number 2 for I-70 and Harlan Towing. That way cool chassis design on that Harry Clacko to AE Cono Drexner, a 499 cubic inch Ford Pro Stock power plant. Clint carries the front end just about to the 60-foot clocks and then shuts it down. Goodness, that car launched hard. He was 19 on the tree, 981 to 60 foot. And that'll do it for Comp Eliminator first round. Top Sportsman presented by Wright Trailers.
Well, we're in a mess, but we're all okay, and that's what we're thankful for. But no power, no water, a lot of washed out roads, a lot of down trees. But everybody's okay. All of our stuff is mainly intact. We just got a lot of work, a lot of pickup and that sort of thing, but just thankful that it wasn't any worse than it was.
And then David, how about you?
Down trees on our property. Got to put a roof on my own house, and we got a power line stretching all the way across the property on the ground. But everybody's safe, and our auto parts store is open today. We have power there. So unluckily for my poor wife, she's working today.
I have 3 daughters, and I do a lot of this work for them, you know, hooking up generators and all that kind of stuff. So hate being here for that. When we left, it was a tropical storm. It was supposed to hit our place as a tropical storm, so we weren't worried about it. But it all happened after we left, and then there's just not much we can do about it. But we're glad to be here. You know, we're with everybody back home. We're praying for all of them and supporting them the best we can.
And David, does this help as a kind of distraction from that?
Yeah, I felt like kind of a heel not being home with my wife. She had to ride it out by herself, and we got a lot of big trees around our house, and I was really worried we might take one. So the ones that fell weren't near any of our buildings, so we got really lucky. And it was hard to concentrate on doing my job, to be honest.
All right, folks, here we go. Round number 2, Competition Eliminator. World points title on the line here this weekend. That's Royce Freeman over the left-hand side for Elite Motorsports and Elite Performance. And the Patterson, folks, that is a B-altered automatic. Over the right lane, that is Matt Harris. That is an E-altered. So small block with a clutch pedal and a 5-speed in the Grand Am. A big block, 500 cubic inch Pro Stock power plant sitting in front of Royce. Matt's going to move first by about 8.5 tenths, and Royce turns it red by 10 thousandths of a second. Matt Harris going to run it down about 1,000 foot and shove the clutch in. Matt Harris was 0-2 at the starting line. Don Thomas over the left lane for Panhandle Performance Engines. He just took over the points lead in the Rooftec Comp Eliminator bonus fund. Whoa, hang on, Ryan Water makes a move towards the wall and gathers it back in. Don Thomas is closing in, and Don comes around him in the light. Wow, Don Thomas goes 61 under the index. 190 miles an hour. Ryan Waters 55 under. He grabbed 2 hun on this end, but just did not have enough power. He had to go about 1,500 feet to go a quarter mile. So Don Thomas moves on. So mineshaft conditions are at play here this weekend. For example, over in the left lane, Keith Hall, if he was to win and go slower than 849, then he'll go into the next round with an 899 index. If he was to to go 839. The next time he comes up, his index would be 889. It would move down by a 10. There's also a personal index, and that is where the change occurs. You would accrue additional personal index at 61 under. That threshold is now 66 under. Here this weekend. Green light Keith, green light Dave Triple. Farms machine, the GE Econo Crash. We're trying to track down the small block Cavalier. Does he have enough racetrack? You betcha. 779. 167 miles an hour per day. The racetrack. He all gets down there 848 at 160. But not quite enough to get it done. And a former $1 million race winner, Dave Triplett, is moving on. Scott Linder and Caleb Azaris, your next pair. Scott, that is an A altered over on the right-hand side. There's a 698 cubic inch rear Morrison power plant sitting underneath the hood scoop of the Linder electric machine. The former Division 5 champion, Caleb Azaris, over the left lane. The U.S. Nationals winner this year. Took a big bite out of her index in the first round. And Scott Linder, he's spotting her a full second in the full-bodied car. Green light Kayla, green light Scott. Scott, and that big cubic inch Grand Am does not have enough racetrack. Kayla goes 747 at only 156 miles an hour. He was 006 letting go. And Nick Janik is pulled over by the wall after the burnout. The AA Pro Mod is not going to make the run. He drops the clutch in the Cavalier. Straight and true, runs it out about 700 feet, shoves the clutch back in, and if he was bracket racing, that would have been a great lap. 861.5 in his index, 861. Also clinched the Rooftec Comp Eliminator bonus fund win that year for A&H Automotive out of Ponchatoula, Louisiana. Lynn Treadwell, the CBD supplier out of the state of Florida. He's going to move first by about 1.1 seconds. And Hickey going to turn that B-Dragster automatic 390 cubic inch small block power plant sitting behind his head. That thing scream down the racetrack and see if they can catch it. Wheels in the air, Adam Hickey. He is closing quick. Treadwell's still out front. Treadwell's going to move on. Ooh. Lynn Treadwell, 61 under the index, 776 at only 151 miles an hour. He was down 10 miles an hour right there. Adam Hickey goes 685, 164. Look at things, realized he was not going to catch Lynn Treadwell. Took his foot out of it, no sense in hurting the index anymore. Brooke Eckel, Joe Mazaris, your next pair.
This competition's really hard to sneak up on, I will say that. But we are in a good position, you know. Just want to make A to B runs and see where we can go on this ladder. This is the toughest rounds of competition that you will see in Competition Eliminator. This field was really tough. You know, we're qualified at 62 under, and that puts us in the 14 spot, which, you know, it's 105 out here. It's not rocket ship fast, and yet we still have a mine shaft race here. So that just really shows what the competition's like out here, and you know, we're lucky to get past first round and hope we can keep that going.
We're going to get about a 10th and a half head start. Green line, green line. Mazaris gathers him back in. This one's going to go Joe Mazaris' way. He goes 684, 193. 53 under the index. Brooke goes 699, 189. That's 54 under, but she was 1.5 behind, leaving the starting line and by 0.06 of a second. Joe Mazaris moves on to round number 3. Jeff Taylor and Clint Knapp, your next pair. Clint over on the right side, the Arvada, Colorado-based A Econo Dragster. That was one of the wildest chassis designs you're going to see on any of the long skinny cars out here in the National Hot Rod Association. Are owned by Harry Clack. And it is ridiculously fast. He was the only car in the 70 under the index club in qualifying, went 650 with a 3 at only 193 miles an hour, so he did not even make a full pull to go 71 under. Jeff Taylor, over in the left lane, one of the most successful sportsman racers in the Lucas Oil Series ever. Over 100 Wallies to his credit. He's behind the wheel of the B Dragster Automatic, owned by Jim and Annie Wiley for J&A Services, also running for the Nickens brothers. He's going to move first by almost 2/10. 740 the index for Taylor. 722 is the index for Clint Neff. Clint Neff likes the front end way up in the air on the A-Econo car, and I think this one's... Oh, I am not correct. I thought that was going Clint Neff's way. It looked like Clint took his foot out of it, thinking he had the race in hand, and Jeff comes around him in the lights, goes 679.9. 60 under the index, and Jeff Taylor will move on to round number 3. That'll put a bow on Comp Eliminator round number 2.
Yeah, I definitely woke it up. We came here, not knowing if we were even going to qualify, and we made the changes, and it's a fast car now. So I'm very happy with how it's running.
And then going up against David Triplett, I mean, they beat the hammer of him being the two-time $1 million race winner, but I don't know, any particular strategy, or you expect him to leave on you, or you're just going to try and cut the tree down?
Well, I mean, fortunately, he's down 2/10. I don't know how much more he's going to want to take the next one. We got another 500s to play with before we take permanent. So if I can do what I've been doing on the tree, I think we have a good shot against him.
I mean, Harris is clean. He hasn't had to take any index. I think he's had 2 red lights, first and second round. We just took 6 against Scott. That was honestly the best I could do. Trying to judge a 45 mile an hour split with Linder, I mean, he just comes up on you hot. So I lifted when I thought it was safe, and nonetheless I took 6. But all that matters is we're going into round 3. So with Harris, we'll hop the car up a little bit, take some weight out. I think the conditions tonight are going to be a little bit better because we should be running after the pros. So we'll see how far Matt wants to run it. We're still chasing points for the bonus fund. A lot of people in front of us went out early, so that's of benefit to us. So we're still in it for the money, so we'll do what we got to do.
Matt's got a 316 cubic inch small block Chevrolet and a clutch pedal in that thing. A 251 cubic inch 4-cylinder Ford. Kayla, they're both green. Kayla trying to track down the door car. Finish line, it's going to be Matt Harris. He goes 770 at 176 miles an hour. Gave up 100th of a second at the Christmas tree. Goes 58 under the index. Joe Mazaris, Dave Triplett, your next pair. The pair of Econo dragsters. Dave Triplett's machine over on the left side. Running for Treadwell Farms, CBD supplier out of the state of Florida. Joe Mazaris, Phoenix, Arizona-based B Econo dragster. The Econo designation. Joe's got a small block V8 Dodge power plant sitting behind his head. The owner of Advanced Automotive, spotting almost a full second. Dave Triplett, the G Econo car, going to lead first by 9.5 tenths. They are both green. Mazaris is closing in. Does he have enough racetrack? You bet. 685, 192 miles an hour. Joe Mazaris gave up 100th of a second at the Christmas tree. 49 under the index. Dave Triplett goes 44 under. To the semis. Jeff Taylor. Glenn Treadwell. Glenn Treadwell. The M-altered automatic. In running for Treadwell Farms over on the left side. The 300-plus cubic inch inline 6-cylinder Ford. Capable of running pretty deep into the 7-second zone. His index is 827. He's going to get, again, almost a full second. 0.97 seconds head start going to Treadwell. Jeff Taylor. a whole lot of success in the Lucas Oil race. The B Dragster automatic for Jim and Andy Wiley and the Nickens brothers. Green on both sides. Treadwell, Taylor closing in, finish line, win light. Jeff Taylor, 22 on the tree. 675, 184 miles an hour, 54 under the index. Keith Maughy and Don Thomas. Your next pair. A couple of Division 4 guys. Maughy over on the right side. The F altered, based out of Carrollton, Texas. 299 cubic inch, little bitty, small block Chevy. Got a clutch pedal in it. Don Thomas. The B Econo Dragster, based out of the Panhandle, Amarillo, Texas. Coincidentally, his business called Panhandle Performance Engines. A little over 1.3 seconds head start, going to go to the door car, and I can guarantee you this much. Every competitor in the Rooftec Comp Eliminator Bonus Fund is just about the biggest Keith Maughy fan on the planet right now. Don Thomas came into the divisional earlier this week about a round maybe behind Rick Brown. Came out of the divisional as the points leader. Over $750,000 is up for grabs in the Rooftec Bonus Fund. Guarantee you a lot of those guys are pulling for that door card right now. Final pair, Comp Eliminator, quarterfinals. They are both green. Don is closing. But he is not going to get there. Keith Maughy is moving on to the semifinals. He gave up a couple of hundred at the Christmas tree, goes 8:05 at 166, 55 under the index. Don Thomas ran it out, but just ran out of real estate. Semifinals in Comp Eliminator are set. Right trailer's top sportsman rolls into the water box.
It feels fantastic. Feel like a rookie again. Every round, lots of nerves. I've had a couple of breaks early in eliminations to help me save some index. I knew Don was in a little bit of trouble. Really, the object there was to get a good run. It was not an ideal run, but thankfully we didn't give up too much and just keep on plugging. The last time I was in a national event final was against Don Thomas, and he beat me, so this feels good to pay him back.
It's unbelievable at the outpouring of help we've had this weekend, just with the Roger Brogdon's group and the Grimmas and Kamitskis. We've had a lot of problems. We've changed everything on this car, including rewiring it, and we finally found a problem. And obviously, it's running really well. But yeah, a lot of help from the Comp family. That's why we do this. You know, like I've told you before, I don't know who my neighbor is, but I know all these guys. You know, they're family. We appreciate everybody's help, and what a great program. You know, it'd be so awesome if we could just finish it. We've had such a tough year. Oh my God, it's been so trying, but you know, just to get to turn on some wind lights, man, you just don't know what that. It just feels so good. Even though I've won a lot, and I'm grateful for all that. You know, it's just for as hard as everybody's worked, and Jim and Annie behind us financially, it's just awesome to go some rounds.
Joe Mazeris and Keith Maughy roll in. Comp Eliminator, semifinal round. Maughy, the Carrollton, Texas-based F-altered Cavalier over in the left lane. Running against an index of 856 in Comp Eliminator. Keith Maughy, the 299-inch small block powered Cavalier with a clutch pedal in it. He's getting a 1.21 second head start. Index of 856, Joe Mazeris, the B Econo Dragster with a small block Mopar. Sitting between the frame rails for Advanced Automotive. Index of 735. 51 under the index or better with a wind light is going to get you a CIC penalty. Moving into the next round, meaning however far over 50 under the index you are, that's how much your index is going to be adjusted. Green lights on both sides. Joe Mazeris is dead late. Joe Mazeris not going to to get there. Keith Maughy, 59 on the tree, goes 807 at 161. 48 under the index, and will go to the final round in the NHRA Texas Fall Nationals. The other half of the semifinal in Comp Eliminator, Matt Harris and Jeff Taylor. Taylor from the right side, the B Dragster Automatic. Over 100 national event wins to his credit. I know I say that every time he comes up, but it bears repeating because there's only a handful of racers in the history of the NHRA to accomplish that feat. 4-time world champ, Matt Harris, the chassis builder, a 2-time national event winner, 9 divisional wallies to his credit, and a former Division 5 champ, the E-Altered, 316-inch small block, clutch pedal and a 5-speed. He can move first by 9.5 tenths of a second. That's basically 2 full yellow bulbs on the Christmas tree. Taylor and Harris move on to take on Keith Maughy. Green lights are bare. Dragster trying to chase down the north bar. Taylor's running out of real estate, and it is not going to happen for him. Matt Harris goes 769 at 176 miles an hour. He grabbed 400 at the Christmas tree. Dropped by 100th of a second. Your final round is set in Comp Eliminator. Here comes right trailer's top sportsman.
Well, I mean, this is the way it should be. Like, having 2 cars, we're both down about what it's going to take to get us even on the track. Look at where we qualified. And that's what you want. And that's what you want to have, cars that go up there, and it's 2 good drivers, 2 good cars. They're both stick cars, which I like. Just go have some fun. And the thing about sitting around all day, I mean, we did it yesterday. We ran at, 9:30, sat for 6 hours, go up there, make E3, and then boom, had to turn right around. We had a couple minor issues we had to fix, so we just left the car alone, trusted it, went back up there, and it repeated, and it was enough. And so we'll get her squared away today and maybe tweak a couple little things. And like I said, you get all day to think about it, but rather than sit here and mull over, oh this, oh that, oh this, just take a wrench out, check over everything, make sure all your lines are tight, make sure all your bolts are tight, make sure everything's still free like it's supposed to be, and wait till the last hour or so, and then we'll do we're about ready to prime it, warm it up here in a little bit, and then set the clutch and go have some fun.
A biblical verse, thee who saves index, thou shalt be in the final round of the Fall Nationals.
Old Testament, yeah, I remember reading that. And we obviously got lucky in the first couple of rounds to not have to use up any index. I wish I hadn't taken quite so much stripe against Don. It'd be nice to have a little bit of that back. But very thankful to be in a final. I think it's only been about 30 runs since we repaired the car, and it feels like we're ahead of schedule. I'm really happy to be in the final.
You know, in that first or in that last run or the semifinals, you had a little different maintenance schedule or maybe a non-maintenance schedule. How did it run?
A little heavy on clutch. Not really surprised by that, but as you pointed out, that's really not how we normally run our program. We're almost always pulling the bell housing out of the car to look at the clutch discs, and there just wasn't time between the 3rd and 4th round, so we didn't. And we got lucky. The car hooked up like it did, but yeah, it did pull the motor down a little bit when I left, and certainly hurt its performance, but thankfully that was not a factor. Even better, today we had plenty of time to get back to our normal program, and I feel like, you know, the weather we're experiencing this afternoon is very similar to what we've seen earlier in the week, so I've got a pretty good idea where we need to be clutch-wise. Just go out there and execute.
And here is the final round of Competition Eliminator. We are guaranteed a first-time winner in Comp Eliminator. For Matt Harris, the Texan, is out of Carrollton. That is an F-Altered. The Cavalier on the left side. Excuse me, the E-Altered. Grand Am on the right side. It helps when I read across the screen. Matt Harris, out of Bellevue, Nebraska. The Grand Am on the right side, E-Altered. He's never been here before. For some drivers, that's a lot of pressure. And for some, it might make you a little carefree. He's a former division champion. And for Keith Mouet, he has been to 7 Comp Eliminator finals and has never held the trophy. That is the F-Alter, the Cavalier on the left. Pair of 2005 machines. Indexically speaking, separated by 0.3 of a second and some change. Keith Mouet, he'll get the head start. 3600ths of a second. That's the Texan on the left side. And Matt Harrison from Nebraska will do the chasing on the right. Comp Eliminator, performance-based. Get there first. You're gonna win light, just as long as the green comes on. Both away on the green. Both these drivers have to do the shifting themselves. And for Matt Harris, he's going to get there. 770 for the win at 175 miles per hour. Keith Mouet missed the tree in the final round. He was 138, and Matt Harris drives by almost 1/10 of a second to get the win. Here in Competition Eliminator, his first in Comp Eliminator at the national event level. Congratulations to Matt and that team. The Wally going back to Nebraska.
All right, next up, Competition Eliminator. He got the job done. Please welcome to the stage, Matt Harris. Come on up, Matt. Whew. Yeah, all right. What's the emotion behind that?
Well, this is my first final at a national event. I've been to a bunch of divisionals, never gotten done at a final. And it's a relief. I mean, it's hot, it's crazy. The track's 125, 130 degrees, and getting a stick car down the track every time like this has just been something else.
Very well-earned race. Anybody that wins at the Fall Nationals, the Stampede of Speed on the Motorplex, this is history to be a part of, but to get it done for the first time, like, you're in a different category now.
Yeah, my dad's always said that the guys who run national events and win national events, they get all the accolades, the knowledge, people know them. And we're just kind of, oh, those other guys, well, that's over.
Not anymore. Who do you want to thank?
First, I thank my wife, Megan. She's at home with all 4 kids. Partner, Zoe, Brooklyn, Reese. She's keeping it just rock solid. I mean, I wouldn't be here without her. My mom, my sister, my brother, if they're not racing with us, they're helping. They're sending me info, sending me encouragement. Don Thomas put 2 motors together for Goldar cars that are just killer. Repetitive, consistent, but the one guy that this. My dad's the reason I do this. He's the reason that car is what it is. I wouldn't be here without him, and I can't thank you enough.
Amazing. An amazing moment to all the dads out there. Way to stick with your kids. Good job. It is a family sport. Race fans, get loud for your comp winner in the Lucas Oil Series, Matt Harris. Way to go, Matt. Next up, the Summit Junior Drag Racing League winner. He got the job done. The car's been on display.
Yeah, it was just a lot of time to take stock of what the car was. Just make sure everything was right. Check nuts, check bolts, check hoses. I actually found there was a loose wire on my voltmeter about ready to ground out. So was able to just disconnect it, didn't have to worry about it during the run. Last year, I had to shut off my last run of the season because I had smoke coming out of one of my switches. Was able to eliminate that, take my time, relax, run my race.
And then your first national event, you kind of said it in the PA interview. This kind of puts you on the map now. Every time you come up, Monahan will be able to say 2024 NHRA Fall Nationals champion.
That feels pretty good. It's been a long time coming. I mean, I've been with Dad since the beginning, since I was as little as I could be. We've had this combination together for 30 years, this car for over 20, and it's one of those deals that you get happy with a combo, you let the car be happy, the driver can just be consistent, and that's what it takes to do this.